Welcome back to Metaloop. Today's video is a battery swap for a 2011 GMC Terrain SLT-1 V6. The Terrain puts the battery in an interesting place. So while battery swaps are fairly simple, this one has an additional step of needing to move the Terrain's ECM out of the way. This video will walk through the process step by step so you can see everything yourself. This guide also works for the Chevy Equinox, which is effectively the same car. In my last video, I took a chance to ask viewers like you upfront to help out the channel, and I was amazed by the amount of support. So here I am to ask again. These videos do take me over 10 hours to film and edit, and I make DIY videos like this every Friday. If you can take a moment to subscribe, that greatly supports my efforts for building this channel. But even sparing just a couple seconds to hit like really helps tell YouTube that the content I'm making should be shown to more people. Whether you're a returning subscriber or a new viewer, thank you for just being here. As you saw earlier, the car is definitely dead, and I verified the battery is not holding charge with the battery charger overnight. Additionally, you may find your key stuck in the ignition when the car has no power. There's a manual release that you can access by a small screwdriver or a pick on the steering column. After hitting that release, the key can be removed. To remove the battery, you'll need a 10mm wrench and a ratchet with a 10mm deep socket. I'm also using a magnet tray and a trim panel tool for the plastic clips I'll show you in a bit. As mentioned earlier, the battery is underneath the electronic control module or ECM. And can I say, it's kind of a confusing place to put what is effectively the brain of the car, because car batteries can sometimes catch fire and explode. Anyway, the ECU has a cover, and that cover slides off to the right. Also, don't be confused by the battery posts on the side of the fuse box. Those exist because there would be no way to put things like jumper cables onto the battery terminals directly, especially with the ECM on top. And you probably don't want to anyway to further reduce that small chance of those battery fires. From here, there's a 10mm bolt that sits perfectly in the shadow as I'm filming. We'll overexpose the shot so that you can see it. Take the 10mm deep socket and remove that bolt. The ECM should now be able to slide out. Without detaching the ECM, simply tuck it off to the side and we'll finish removing the battery. With that done, we have removed the panel in front of the battery to fully access the battery tie-down brackets. There's a couple trim panel clips to remove that will let us move the panel. We'll use the trim panel tool to pop those clips. Now the battery tie-down bracket is accessible, but before we remove that, let's safely disconnect the battery. Always remove the negative side first when disconnecting a battery. The black negative terminal is accessible with a socket. We'll start there. Once that is done, we'll remove the red positive terminal. I found that a wrench was more convenient on the positive side. We're now ready to remove the tie-down bracket. There was a 10mm bolt that was on the side underneath the panel. We'll remove that first. The other side is a 10mm nut. We can take that off now too. The bracket can be placed to the side once removed. Be careful when pulling the battery as it's quite heavy, and now with the battery removed, we can double check the specs and make sure our new battery meets or exceeds them. One thing to note is that this Duralast battery was not even a year old based on the manufacturer date sticker that all car batteries have. It's definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on in case there's some kind of battery drain issue with the Terrain. Or maybe we were just unlucky and the battery was bad. That's why batteries generally have a 2 or 3 year warranty. Here's our new battery from O'Reilly's. Any auto parts chain will take your old battery and waive the deposit fee on a new battery. Unfortunately, AutoZone, who supplies the Duralast brand, wouldn't honor the warranty because I wasn't the original purchaser of the battery and didn't have a receipt. While I totally understand warranty policies, I didn't want to buy another Duralast battery from AutoZone, especially if the company can't even stand by its products. I'm confident the Superstar from O'Reilly's will work just as well. Before we proceed with the swap, let's make sure that the old battery didn't leak any corrosive acid and other chemicals onto the terminals that would prematurely cause damage on our brand new battery. First, we'll take a terminal wire brush and knock off all the chunky bits that might still be on the terminal. These seem fairly clean, so I'm just doing a quick scrub. Then let's spray some battery cleaner on the terminals. This stuff is pretty cool as it actually changes color if acid is present, which allows you to confirm the terminals are fully cleaned off. You'll see here on the negative side, there was a little bit of acid, so I cleaned it twice. Now that the terminals are ready, we can drop the battery into the tray. I like to use anti-corrosion washers. I'm not really sure they do anything, but I've been putting these Christmas-colored washers on my batteries for the last 20 years. If anything, they feel super festive and soak up some of the anti-corrosion spray that you'll see me using here on the tops of the terminals. Once the terminals are secured, let's first check that the car starts before we reassemble everything. So far, so good. And from here, we'll just go in reverse order. We'll secure the battery tie-down bar. Props to GM, by the way, for not having a weird floating battery tray with J-hook bolts. The front panel also folds back into place, and the panel clips are very easy to pop back in. Next, the ECM has slots underneath that need to be matched up with the tabs on the tie-down bracket. Slide the ECM on, then secure the 10mm bolt that was removed earlier. The ECM cover also has tabs that need to line up, but once you find the right grooves, it slides right into place. There's also a tab on the side where my right hand is that secures the cover and keeps it from sliding back off. And that's it. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you're here, there's a good chance you own a GMC Terrain or Chevy Equinox. My next couple videos will also feature this car, so if that's interesting to you, I hope you'll subscribe and come back next week. And if you're watching this video a couple weeks after the release, those videos may already be available and should be popping up now. I'm Alan, and this is Metaloop. As always, thanks for watching.